He just knew that he had to run this way or that way. He also knew that he was friends with a bunch of Democrats. He always hung with Democrats, but he could not run like that because of he's been saying it since the 80s, the economy, other countries taking it back. He's been saying this forever. I
Well,
think
what he
he
said
had
was,
to run. If you got to pick a side, I think he picked a
well, you
side.
know what he said. You know what he said.
Well, he said a lot of things.
Well, I'm going to run as a Republican because they're so stupid they vote for me. That's
Yeah,
what he
I
said.
have a
I
picture
mean,
of it.
that's just what he said.
He did say that.
I never
Yeah,
heard that,
yeah.
but that's kind of funny.
I have the
But I'm
screenshot.
goofy, so I find stuff funny that shouldn't be funny.
I have that screenshot since 2011.
Yeah, I got to say something else though to back up before we got into this trans conversation. Jamal, you started to say the problem with schools, and then you went into the trans thing. But what came up in my heart and in my mind right away was how they're funded. It's crazy how inner city schools don't have the same funding that Ladue does, or Chesterfield, or how we fund
Well,
schools by the property taxes in the local area guarantees that we keep folks that are low income, black, white, indifferent, down. We should fund schools equally across the board, public schools. If you want to send your kid to a private school and you got the money, go for it. But public
but for
schools
that
should
reason,
not be funded that way. It's
but
disgusting.
for that reason, that's why we had to go with school of choice.
Well, school of choice is no, that's fine, but that's not the answer. The answer is
Well,
fund schools
the only
equally
reason I
across
say
the
that
board.
is the only reason I say that is here in St. Louis City, if you're able to get your child to a school of choice, you can drop them off. If
Okay.
you're not able, they can take a cab as long as they I have children that were in the gifted programs, and I was able to keep them there always. So bringing back school of choice is hugely important because of the funding differential.
So I hear that, and I don't know your situation. I'm sure that made a big difference. But why do we fund suburban schools at a higher rate than city schools? Or rich public schools should all be funded the same. This,
Well, it's funded
however
by
that
the
works.
tax brackets, by the
It's
taxes of the people
the,
that live
but it
there.
shouldn't be. But it shouldn't be.
Well,
That
who
that
gonna pay
ensures
for it?
that
If the people in our community
spread it out.
choose to hold on,
Sure.
if it's coming from the taxes, and all of this, and if the people who live in that community choose to live how they're gonna live and not whatever, why should my taxes go up to fund people who don't care?
They shouldn't go up. But the people in
Because that's
Ladue
the only
that
way what you're talking
no,
about is
no,
gonna get
no. We
paid
should
for.
just spread it out. Like
No,
if we if no if
like
and I'm talking about public schools now.
you're talking about putting it all together,
Yeah,
like
it should
everybody's
not be.
everybody's
Saying,
taxes for the schooling
So
going
why?
together.
So
saying everybody gets the same
let's say
amount.
the people in Chesterfield and Ladue, their kids, it costs $12,000 a year, but in the city we're only spending 6,000. It's like spread it the frick out, and then if they want to send their kids to private school, if you can do choice schools, whatever. But it's been so long a problem that folks with low income, and I'm not saying black because it's the same in the rural areas
No, it's
too,
like low income.
low income, and again we should just it shouldn't be based on property taxes because that guarantees that the local schools are going to be funded to the level of income that the locals have, whether it's black, white, or
I can
it's
agree
just
with that
it's
because we're
just
talking
wrong.
about taking this pot of money. So basically saying that if the county and the city comes together, and we just talking about on the school level,
Yes,
take all of that revenue and just distribute it out.
that's right.
I can
Well,
agree with that.
it's still one more problem though,
What?
um, which I feel like the Democrats nor the Republicans really hit. Our kids are, can I say dumb as shit?
Yeah.
Dumb is great. No.
And the reason I say that is our testing is down. mathematics down, reading down, and
This is the whole country.
this is not just in the city. This is, like she said, the whole country. Um, I want to, and when I
What do
say
you think drives that, Jamal? Why do you
well,
think that is?
one of the things is I think one of the things is school of choice helps it, and I'll tell you why. Um, when I was younger, they had the DSEG program where you knew this school wasn't getting any money. And I don't necessarily think the DSEG program was the greatest thing because you took kids from a different neighborhood and they went to another neighborhood, and at that time they weren't welcome. I was part of the first or second batch, and I was getting bused to South County where they weren't used to seeing people that looked like me at that level. You go from seeing 2 or 3 black faces to 600, it can be some issues. But here's the thing, the kids didn't have the issues,
Yeah,
the teachers did.
yeah, yeah.
Um, guess what? The kids got along fine, but the teachers, some teachers, weren't ready to go. But when you look at things like that and we look at the things that can make our country really great again, I think education has to be at the forefront. And I'm talking about maybe you can't do it the same everywhere, but we definitely can put some money aside and have better classes as far as classes that show things that's more practical. For as I remember older people telling me that they went to school and learned how to balance a checkbook. I remember in the set, well, not I remember, but in the 70s and the 60s and the 50s and the 40s, they had trades in high school. It came with it.
Oh
Those
man,
were public.
I gotta jump in, Jamal, because you're talking about my area now. And
Yes,
I
sir.
I went to U City. We had shop where we learned how to use tools.
Yeah.
We had
All
auto
that.
mechanics. We had auto mechanics when we got to work on cars. And U City when I was there. So I'm 70. I was there in the late 60s, early
Are you
70s.
70?
Yeah, I was there, but we had a transition. U City High School when I was a freshman, and it was so I was a sophomore actually, but it went from 75% Jewish to 75% black in the 3 years I was in school there. There was this white flight to the suburbs. It was crazy, and there was a lot of upset. But anyway, long story short, I couldn't agree with you more, man. We learned practical shit. We learned typing. We learned auto mechanics. We learned woodworking, and we learned math and shit too. But I
But
would
do
love it if, yeah,
you see what
I
I'm
agree
saying?
with you.
And they
I
say
feel you. I feel you.
they say right now for just like heating and cooling, every year that passes, we're 72,000 people short.
Yep. Yep.
And the numbers are stagnant if you do heating and cooling, if you do plumbing, if you do electrical. Why? Because we're introducing kids. We'll spend our dollar to introduce them to the LGBT community, which is we don't have to spend money for that. They're right there. We can see them. And I'm not saying like it's almost like they feel sometimes people say you can't see them. No, yes, you can. That's why we love them because we can see them. I mean, if you're riding in on a rainbow, who can't see you? But the other thing is this: we have trades that we can use. Let's help our men continue to be men.
And
I
our women continue to be women. I mean, a woman can be a plumber,
that's
but I
true.
could not agree with you
That's true.
anymore.
But I'm gonna
Who
tell you
wants to
this:
be a plumber?
I'm not dating a
Somebody
woman.
wants to make $100,000 a year.
I'm not dating a
There's
woman
other
that feels
ways.
comfortable
But
walking in
we
shit.
used to learn home ec. And I think a lot of these women could really use that right now.
Well, then they
Right.
won't sell out of air fryers.
Uh,
And I'm not
but no, I
saying,
think trade schools, though, Jamal, though, I feel you, and I couldn't agree more. We need to focus education on what makes a difference
and here's the thing.
in a person's life going forward.
And here's
I
the thing:
think we can all agree on that.
I'm pretty sure you're a grandfather. Am I correct?
Nah, I'm old enough to be, but kids didn't do anything for me yet, but they will.
Oh,
No, I got 2 kids, but none have kids. But I've got a lot of. I know a lot of.
you probably started late.
I did.
So just think about this though. When you have a son and even a grandson, all you want is for their son and their daughter, you want them to feel like they have some type of grasp on the future. Right now, because we're taking kids that aren't having trades and things like that, it's the bigger gap of I don't know what I want to do. Everything is trial and error. I'm gonna see if I want to be a police. Oops, I shot somebody. That's not for me. Or I'm scared. I don't think being a police is for me. I'm gonna try the military. Not really good with my hands. Um, I'm gonna try being gay because that's all they're talking about. Well, I'm not really that gay. Not the gays, man. And if you listen to the gays, they don't talk about it. They feel like it's so many people practicing being
Jamal,
gay.
I feel like you're getting off the point because gay is not a way to make a living.
No,
But anyway,
It seems
no.
like it is now.
Listen,
And before,
listen.
look, and that was just me being funny. I love my
No,
gay
I'm just.
friends. I love the gays. I love
I
everybody.
don't. I
Everybody
don't have
know
a
that.
problem with anybody. I
Don't
love it,
forget
well,
to like and subscribe.
but I just think. I think we doing too much on either end. Let's get back to making America great again. As far as we
Getting
used
the
to
badge.
manufacture everything. You know what I mean? Everything was made in America.
Money
Now
man.
I know it's expensive to make everything in America, and they can do it so much cheaper in China. But what are we gonna do? How are we gonna keep buying? We're 30% of everything that's bought in the world, this country. That's what keeps us really safe. How do we keep that number up if we get to a point where we're not even working? If unemployment keeps going up? You know what I
but
mean?
it's just started going up. It was going down before. I mean, anyway, I hear you. But here's the thing: an economy that's worldwide, that different countries are dependent on other countries, keeps it safe. If every country just says, "I'm just going to be by myself," and I'm just for myself, America first and F every other country, that makes us all like our little fiefdoms.
Well,
And it just
it's
doesn't
not
work
being
well. It
F
just
every
doesn't work well.
country, but because I had been watching because I was interested. I never been into like the economics, finance. So when all this Doge stuff was going on, and then you find out, wait a minute, we've been getting screwed with no Vaseline. Like what? We the greatest country in the world. That's a no for me. Like no,
Well,
we got to be fair across the board, and people knew they needed to be fair, and that's why they are cooperating.